The status of the Strait of Hormuz has changed, perhaps forever. To show you why and how that matters, I need a different map and I need a larger desk. Okay, we have a larger desk, and now let me get the proper chart. This is a nautical chart, industry standard, UK Admiralty. If you were on the bridge of one of the oil tankers inside the Persian Gulf, probably you will be looking exactly at this map. Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz is critical for global energy supply. Around 20% of the world's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Around 25% of the world's LNG, liquefied natural gas, also comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Let me show you why it's critical and how narrow it is at the narrowest point, which is here. We have Iran to the north, Oman to the south, and although the strait looks a bit wider, in reality what matters is this area here. This is the traffic separation scheme, sort of a highway inside the sea. This is the lane that goes into the Persian Gulf. This is the lane that comes out of the Persian Gulf. And in between is a buffer area, which is shaded. Each of these lanes is about 2 miles wide. It is very, very narrow at that point. And now the United States and Iran are fighting for who and how that's going to be controlled. Since the beginning of the war, the strait has been closed. And on social media, the Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, are fighting about what's going to happen next. My belief is that the status of the strait will change during the negotiations, because at the moment very little is flowing through the strait, and the Iranians are suggesting that things need to change immediately. They have distributed this map. Sorry, they have issued only on white, on black and white. It shows here, it's a close-up.
We've got a new peace plan. President Trump doesn't like it. It means the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, and there has been some activity there. A cargo merchant ship being attacked, is that right?
Yeah, we're just getting the reports in. The bulk carrier near the Strait of Hormuz was attacked by multiple small vessels, we understand. No reports of any casualties or stuff like that. But as you say, this is day 65 of the war. President Trump has received this sort of 14-point peace plan. I think what's key about the plan, though, we had some ideas of what might be included in it. And once again, there were lots of things that were never going to be acceptable to America. We've got a few examples here. Withdrawing forces from the Middle East, reparations, and the negotiations for nuclear disarmament actually being pushed down the road. I think what's fascinating about the way this is all playing out, though, this doesn't feel like this is an Iran on the verge of capitulating or desperate to negotiate, which President Trump has been suggesting. This feels like Iran knows full well Donald Trump needs an off-ramp. You can have one, but there's a price to pay for it.
I am here at the Strait of Hormuz, where a new order has been formed by Iran. You can see cargo vessels and oil tankers, some of them waiting for a long time since the beginning of the U.S.-Israeli aggression against Iran, and some of them waiting for Iran's permission to pass the strait.
Days after the U.S. and Israel launched their war against Iran, Tehran retaliated by taking control of the Strait of Hormuz, using it as key leverage. Visiting international journalists in Iran to document the aftermath of the aggression witnessed the dramatic situation at the strait and shared their observations.
Clearly there is a new system that Iran is exercising here. What we do understand is that it's a heavily controlled zone, that Iran requires permission from cargo vessel Navy ships. before they're allowed to pass this strait. When we talk about international waters, I must add that those who think that the Strait of Hormuz international law is for everyone, that's clearly not the case. We have Oman and we have Iran, who have a 10-mile radius on either side, who actually control most of this waterline. The new system requires every naval ship, every vessel to bypass and to speak to Iran before they're given permission to pass through.
Some of the journalists are calling the current situation the birthplace of the New World Order, describing it as unprecedented.
Here, right now we are at the birthplace of the multipolar world, because Iran's ability to choke the world economy is a huge victory for the global south. Never before has a country been able to exert such pressure as Iran is doing now. So I think that it's something really amazing, unbelievable.
So I think Iran got this border and very strong and powerful card to play, and it's making a lot of pressure on America.
The journalists also believe that Donald Trump is to blame for the closure of the strait to American vessels.
Obviously, Donald Trump is to blame for this closure. I think there's no other way to view this. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz was open before the sneak attacks on February 28th, before the assassination of the leader of Iran. It is now closed. There's a direct causation effect there. So, I think it's very clear why the shipping here in this critical shipping corridor is at a standstill.
Iran has declared that once the U.S.-Israeli war of aggression ends, Tehran will determine the security protocols for this vital strategic waterway. The journalists describe this as Iran reinforcing its position as the decisive power at the Strait. Farzan Ashurian, Press TV, Strait of Hormuz.
Navy Warship 121. This is Sepah Navy Station. You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately. If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted. Out.
This is Coalition Warship 121. Engaged in transit passage in accordance with international law. No challenge is attended to you.
U.S. Navy Warship transiting in the vicinity 4J report and Oman Sea. This is Sepah Navy. This is Sepah Navy. Last warning, last warning, last warning.
Close to High Island 4.
Attention all vessels, attention all vessels, attention all vessels in Oman Sea. This is Iranian Sepah Navy. If you see any warship in your vicinity, keep a distance more than 10 miles from them, because I'm ready to open fire on them without any warning.